highlighting part. I'll do the verses, unless you want to sing with me, you can. But you will do the chorus to this, and if you don't know it, you'll learn it quickly. Just watch, there's little word changes in your parts. Why I highlight. Unicorn song, right? A long time ago, when the earth was green, and there were more kinds of animals than you've ever seen. They'd run around free while the earth was being born. The loveliest of them was the unicorn. There were green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now God seen some sinning, and he gave him such pain. He says, stand back, I'm gonna make it rain. He says, hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo and take them green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorns. Old Noah was there to answer the call. He finished up making the ark just as the rain started to fall. He marched the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through, hey Lord, I got your green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorns. Then Noah looked out through the driving rain. Them unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorns, where there were green alligators and long-necked beasts, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees. He cried, close the door, cause the rain is pouring, and we just can't wait for some unicorns. The ark started moving, it drifted with the tide. Them unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried. The waters came down and sort of floated them away. And that's why you'll never see a unicorn to this very day. Green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-backed camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. No unicorns. All right, if you flip over your page, I told them I'm throwing a couple songs in here, so they'll just, as long as I have the mic and I'm in front, I can do this. All right, flip it over for the one that, if you don't know it, there's the words for it, and if you do know it, please sing with me. Everybody. What a wonderful world, Brent. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days and the warm sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people going by. What? I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, it is.
Are we awake today? Hello. Good morning to y'all. My goodness gracious sakes alive. Is there anyone visiting here for the very first time? I think there is a sweet person right there. We want to welcome you. We want to say we hope you like what you hear so far. We hope you like what you see more. And we hope that you'll come back and see us. Thanks. Because the door is always open for you. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Hey, I have a knock-knock joke, an Irish knock-knock joke or two. One here?
Oh, yes.
Okay, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Irish.
Irish.
Irish, you happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, okay.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
Question. When is an Irish potato not an Irish potato? When is a French fry? Okay, enough of that. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Glad you're here. Well, one more. Knock, knock. Boy. Boy, do I love St. Patrick's Day. Okay, that's enough. Welcome, everybody. You know, it doesn't matter what spiritual path anyone's following who comes here today, because we know that every path through divine realization has more than one path up that mountainside. So wherever you come from, wherever you're headed, you're in the right place right now. Okay. So before we have a sweet pray-in and a wonderful reading with more music to come, I think I need to, I think we better do a couple of these, what do they call them? Announcements, so we know what's going on, what's going to be happening. And then we're going to have a sweet pray in, and then we're going to have a wonderful message. So, firstly, I want to tell you, you're welcome to come down and have some soup a little later. Did you know we have soup? Super Sunday today, okay? For $3, that's a bargain. That's a bargain. Or any love offering, and it's going to be soup today. So there's also still time to sign up for the new class for Foundations of Spiritual Living. You know, that's an eye-opening, affirmative introduction to what our philosophy is really based upon. It's really a great course to take. Join us for 10 Tuesdays, or as many as you want to come, as many as you wish. They're just $25 a lesson. And it starts on March the 19th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here at the Woodland Chapel Library, right around the corner here. And we're going to use the Science of Mind textbook. And this class is an accredited class also. Anybody wants to use it for that. Every Friday, still got that book club going on. Yep, got a good one going on from 2 p.m. to 3:30. And it's one you just drop in, drop out, come on in, stay all the time, do what you need, do how you feel about becoming a part of that. We have for your information and benefit a calendar of events that's available in the library. Just go right in and you'll see it hanging right there, pasted right on the wall, right on the office window there. Take a peek. There's several good events that's being planned. And if you know anyone that needs child care, wants to come here, attend our services, we have it available every Sunday. So that's a good thing. So in the seat pocket in front of you, there's a place where you'll see a little I think we call them confidential prayer requests, but there's places on there for comments. Only a practitioner or a minister will see that. Put it in the offering as it comes around, or you can tuck it in a box on the corner of the library there. There's a place where you can just slide it in that confidential box. We'll take care of that. So, any questions about the sin or anything comes up, you can just ask a practitioner or a minister, and we hope we can give you an answer. We try. I think we're ready for, are we going to sing anymore, or are we just going to move on to prayer? Oh, okay, we'll have prayer. That'll be Kathy Prather.
Thank you, Don. Lovely to see all the green out today, and happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, thanks. I haven't been here for a while. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, my goodness. Oh, let's come together in this beautiful sanctuary, knowing that God, Spirit, is right here, right now, filling all of this space. Every cubic inch of this space is filled with the consciousness of Spirit. And this Spirit is perfect. It is all wisdom, all abundance, all peace, all harmony, all freedom, all joy. And I know that this consciousness of Spirit is right here, right where I am, right where you are. And so I know that this morning is one of joyousness, one of celebration. It is our community coming together and spending this time in joyous learning, in joyous exhilaration, in joyous communing. And I know that today is a wonderful day that the Lord has made, and we do rejoice in it. And I say thank you, God, for this blessing. And would you like to say with me, and so it is. And our affirmation is is on your programs. Would you say it with me, please? I am a spiritual being having a human experience. So when life feels harsh and solutions seem old, out of reach, I stop, I listen, and I remember. Divine intelligence always surrounds me, and so it is. Thank you.
Very honored to provide the daily reading today from the Daily Guide. Erin Gobra.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what that means? Ireland forever. So this is from the March Science of Mind for March 28. Our first quotation is from Dennis Merritt Jones from The Art of Being. He writes, "It is through and by means of our relationships that God deepens his own experience of itself. There is something within each of us that knows this is true, and this is why we long for a deeper connection with other living beings." And from Ernest Holmes, from Words That Heal, he writes, "We all feel the need for an intimate and personal relationship with the Spirit." I think you're going to like this reading. It taught me something amazing. Since the 1970s and the advent of underwater microphones, scientists and nature lovers have taken delight in the song of the humpback whale. However, scientists recently made an unexpected discovery about the reasons for the singing, as they realized it was increasingly difficult to find singing whales. As it turns out, they sing, guess why? To find each other. Males are the singers. When scientists first began listening to their tunes, there were fewer than 200 hunchbacks remaining in eastern Australia, as the whaling industry brought the population to the brink of extinction in the region. But after the nation banned whaling in 1978, the humpback population had a chance to recover. The conservation nonprofit group called the Oceana Project estimates the current population to be more than 40,000. Yay. As the population grew, the number of singers declined. In 2004, 2 in 10 males would sing. That number dropped to 1 in 10 a decade later. What scientists discovered was that in a larger population, the whales could easily find each other. Thus, singing wasn't necessary. Some speculate that the whale songs were a sign of loneliness. We need each other, whether human or animal. While some brief periods of solitude are restorative, we are not meant to be alone for long periods of time. We need connection. It is when we connect with each other that the spirit can know and experience itself. And in closing, our affirmation is, I seek nurturing connection in my life that allows spirit to experience itself through my relationships with others. Namaste.
Namaste. You know, I've been teaching elementary school this year, and one of the things that was most disappointing to me was when we came to holiday times, Christmas times, and that kind of thing, and I started asking the kids, okay, so what songs do you know? They didn't know any of the basic songs. And I was like, what? Wait, you don't know the beginning of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? You don't know? I mean, I was laughing. But part of me was sad, because part of how I connect and how we connect, I've seen it over and over again, is by singing and having that idea that we share this common language. And you know, I've traveled quite a bit around the world, and every place I went, people wanted to share music. Always. I remember getting off a bus in Japan and was walking down the stairs to Japan, and this whole group of kids, probably teenagers, came up to me, and they're looking at me and singer, and I said, yes, I'm the singer. And they looked at me and they go, do-wah, 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 do-wah. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that. And they wanted to sing with me, right? And so when Jill and I were talking, we were talking about songs Irish songs. This one always makes me laugh, because people come to me all the time and say, well, I can't sing. I said, then clap, then laugh, then say the words, but share in the joy of that. And this is called All God's Children Got a Place in the Choir. Ready, Brent? All God's children got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud at telephone wires, and some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one in the bottom. Mountain croak and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher, some sing out loud at the telephone wires, and some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. The dog and the cats, they pick up the middle, while the honeybee hums the cricket's fiddle. The donkey brays and the pony neighs, and the old coyote howls. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher, some out loud and the telephone wires, and some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got. Go, Brent! Yeah! Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day, little duck's quack and he's on his way. The possum ain't got much to say, and the porcupine talks to himself. All God's creature's got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Some sing out loud on the telephone wire, and some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got. Yes, they do. Fun stuff. See, Julie, I didn't do any of the drinking songs. I just want you to be proud of me that I didn't pick those.
That's true. When Darcy and I were talking about songs for today, it was like I spent hours. And I'm not kidding you. And I called Darcy. I said, they're all drinking, fighting, or moaning. I don't know what to do. So we came up with three. And that's good. I mean, I love the Irish songs. I love the Irish songs. It was just really hard to find one for today. So, and Shannon, I love that reading because it made me think it was sad when it was like they're lonely. And I was, as you were saying that, I was wondering about how much they say there's so much anxiety and depression in our society today. We read that all the time. And I wonder if it's because so many gathering places, of course, people don't gather together. They gather online. The fraternal organizations have mostly disappeared. The Masonic groups have disappeared virtually. And churches, people watch church online. And it's really nice. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube.
But we can't hear you.
Right. Can you hear me? No. You can hear me. You couldn't hear me when I said that? Oh, that was great, you guys. We heard it.
So, so you don't want me to repeat it?
We got it.
Good, good. Thank you, Reverend Warren. Woo. Okay.
Happens.
It was just under my jacket. You know, it was kind of interesting today with the sun was out. It's like, oh my God, there's this thing in the sky. And I happened to be on Highway 26. And it was a nightmare. I think everyone was going to the coast, and I hope they enjoy us. But if you're out and about, you actually can watch us on all those media formats. But I'm so glad that you're here in person, because I think that personal connection is so important for our mental welfare. So congratulations for being here. So having the faith and making it through hard times, when I came up with that topic, I wasn't thinking of St. Patrick's Day. Although, and I have to tell you, I'm married into an Irish family. And my husband's grandparents came from Ireland. And I don't mean just DNA. They were Irish. They came from a town in Eastern Oregon, and if you're another nationality, you won't get a chance. And like this weekend, they're having a big Irish celebration. And it's really interesting, like every 5 years, there's a reunion, worldwide reunion, of all the expatriates from Ireland can go back to the hometown where they all left from, Cardona. Yeah. Paul's been back to Cardona, and I got to thinking, I thought, I wonder how those relatives feel that all the people who moved away suddenly come back home to, but I guess it's good for the economy. But I've got Irish everywhere, which I love. They are great writers, they're great songwriters, they're great singers, and they're great poets. But, you know, Ireland has been a country that's had a lot of difficulties in the past. And, you know, perhaps in dark times, poverty. You know, you read about, I don't know how many of you read Angela's Ashes. Yeah. And so the church and the state working together in a very suppressive way, that a very hard time in. And when a country has a culture, and every country has a culture, it has a personality, it's very, very hard to change that. You just don't change that overnight. But the thing is, and it takes the consciousness of the people to change a country. And I have to tell you, Ireland has been so amazing. It has literally transformed itself. And it went from those dark places to the worst experiences that you might find in religion, and where religion and government come together to be very controlling about people's lives. And you know a lot of those stories. But they have turned themselves around. I marvel. I absolutely marvel. And they've gone from difficulties and poverty really into prosperity. Into prosperity. And they have had 2 women presidents and 1 gay prime minister. So what happened there? But I was thinking as I was, immersed in all this and looking at that, because I am so impressed. I have been so impressed. And I pay attention to that because of all the relatives. Honestly, Paul's grandmother had 13 children. Paul has 50 first cousins. And God knows how many there are altogether. And they're really super wonderful people, you guys. I have great many in-laws. So anyway, let's chalk that up, Paul. And so what I learned from Ireland is that we have to let go. The first thing I learned about this was we have to let go of being a victim. And this victim idea, and when a country can literally let go of being a victim and decide that they're going to be something else, they're going to throw off all these shackles, and that is not who they are. There is literally transformation, like the phoenix coming from ashes to this beautiful bird. And that is true for us too. See, our experiences follow our thoughts, don't they? And if you don't really get this and think it's just theology, test it out today and see how you feel and what happens. Our experiences follow our thoughts. And a victim is powerless. A victim is powerless. And we're chained to the very experience we want to let go of. And I'm not being insensitive. Sometimes we have actually been a victim, or feeling like a victim is kind of legitimate, people would say. And maybe there's time to be angry, and maybe there's time to be sad, and maybe there's time to have all these feelings, and probably so. And we should, if they're there. We should acknowledge them if they're there. But the thing is that to let go of that idea of being a victim, because it will chain us to that which we do not want. And just using that country as an idea, a metaphor in this, to let go of all those ideas. Freedom. What happens in freedom? You know, we can build a house, but we don't want to stay there if it's pretty yucky. Do we? We can move on. And how do we keep the faith and make it? Well, faith itself helps us make it through hard times. But I guess the question is then, how do we develop that faith that helps us make it through hard times? How do we develop that? First, I'm going to tell you The first way is surrender. And I know, that's not a popular word, is it? Surrender. And to lean on this higher power, our soul essence, our guides, or whatever it is that you want to call it, God, to surrender. And I know that there is a power in presence, a source, an infinite intelligence, that which is nameless, that is only love and brought us into being. And I'll surrender. And I've worked with this idea of surrender for many, many years. And did you ever, you know it. This isn't a new idea to you, is it? Or if it is, to surrender, to give up, wow. And to surrender into the dynamic and support and faith of God. And then we get to tell God our plan. I am surrendering, and here's what I'd like to happen. Don't we do that? I mean, honest to God, it is so hard to let go of. And I had this idea of God one time. Did you ever have this God in your head that if I surrender to that God, there is no telling what this God would do to me? You know? I mean, I did grow up. I mean, it wasn't that I grew up with, I don't know, maybe it was the rules all around. If you broke the rules, whatever. But I had this, I couldn't trust this God, honestly. And so that God becomes this infinite universe. And if I did, I would just be waiting for the next shoe to fall. So I really had learned to go out and take control of things myself. And you know, that works to a certain extent. But sometimes when things get really tough, it doesn't work, does it? You know, we can try to control things. What I came to when I came in this teaching, and I didn't really know about AA before I got into New Thought. A lot of people get into New Thought through the door of AA or other programs like that. But I didn't know about it. And I began, because a really good friend of mine was really involved in AA, I began to read about that. And one of the first things is to admit that you're powerless. And the second thing is come to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity or bring perfect resolution to the situation or heal or find peace. And the third is to make a decision to turn my will and life over to God. To turn my will and life over to God. You know, that has saved more people's lives. And so I took those first 3 steps. I got to tell you, I don't know if any of you have read those, all the 12 steps. Some of you know them very well. Then you get on to admitting all the things that you did and you have to tell somebody. I never got that far. That is really tough stuff, you guys. And if you've gone through AA, you have my total admiration. I like the first 3 steps. I get to surrender, God's going to help me. So, but really, that searching moral inventory, that's tough. And then to tell somebody, I think it's the best program. It is such a wonderful program. And so many people come into this teaching through that. The first 3 steps. Sometimes I've learned that when I cannot make something happen, you know, I'm powerless sometimes. Now, we'll have a whole talk on power because I like power. But I'm going to talk about my personality, my essence here on earth. Not that divine part of my being, but my personality can be powerless. And how, especially when things get really, really difficult and we can't find a way out, or someone we love is hurting, or we're hurting, or our finances have fallen apart. What do we do? Because everything we've been doing evidently doesn't work. It's like, how's that working for you? You know, and we keep trying the same thing because we have this finite mind, and it knows what it knows, and it knows what it sees, but there's an infinite mind that knows more. And then I say to myself, why would I not surrender into that? That which is that infinite intelligence. There's two things. There's love and law. We call it love, and it's hard to explain. I'm not going to try to do that, but it's a creative thing. It's like something you love so much, but this is greater. It's a creative thing that brought everything into being, and then the law is the way it works. And one of the ways to do this is through prayer, you guys. And I really hope you get into class here and learn this prayer practice. It took me from that God that I didn't trust and was going to drop another shoe on me if I even got close to it. It's like, okay, we'll keep our distance because I can see what's happening in the world and I don't like it. And if you're in control, well, here's what I have to say about that. And I did have a lot to say about that because I don't like suffering. But our prayer. Our prayer is to know that love is what we experience. When we surrender into this, love is what we experience. It's undefinable, but it's an experience that we have. And the law, I use the law all the time, it's how it works. It's the power of our thought, it's the power of our intention into this something that we call law that brings back to us. And so when I pray, what I do is I pray a lot all the time, actually. Well, every thought we have is a prayer, by the way, guys. That's really scary, but it's true. But I'm talking about conscious prayer. If every thought moves form into matter, then every thought's a prayer. So there's another reason to watch our thoughts. But when I consciously pray, and how I see somebody I love, and I don't know what's good for you. I don't know what's good for that person I love so much. I don't know what's good for anything. But what I know is that there's a power and intelligence that does know. And so what I will do, and I was taught by this in my very first class in New Thought when I knew nothing, and I asked, how do you meditate? How do you do? I didn't know, but this person taught me just to see this light. So I will see God as that person. I can visualize the light surrounding in and through every one of their cells. And I know, that power that brought everything into being. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know how our cells work? It is so amazing. If we even look at a cell, how can we doubt this incredible intelligence? And so this power, this energy, this light has the power to heal. I don't know what's right for that person. But the other thing I think, especially when somebody you love, I think, if I love that person so much, think how much more this presence, this intelligence, this force loves. See, because we can't have love unless it already exists somewhere in the universe. It has to be part of that which is for us to experience it and know it. So think about that, someone you love. If I love them this much, if I care this much, how much more? I'm only a tiny reflection. And I lean on that. I lean on that, you guys. I can control a lot, and I have a lot of ideas. But what I always do, and I guess maybe it's still controlling a little bit. Okay, it is a little bit. I take this idea and then I ask Spirit how to bring it into form. Now it may turn out a certain different way, ultimately because what we want is the experience. I'm not yet to that place where I totally surrender my life, because I know what would happen if I did. It would actually be so much more wonderful than it is now. It's a journey, you guys. It's a journey we're on. And I just want to say two more things about it. I want to recommend for you, if you have never read this little tiny booklet by Emmett Fox. It's called Golden Key. And essentially all it says is when there's a problem, instead of focusing on the problem, focus on God. Turn your mind. When there's a huge problem, turn your mind and put your focus on however you visualize, conceptualize that infinite intelligence, that heart, that God, whatever way you do. Take your mind off the problem and put it on God. That, I think, has been a lifesaver for so many people, and it is incredibly simple. When I was in ministry school, there was a gal in the class behind me, and she had been, in her younger days, a poet of note. In fact, I think she had awards for being a poet, and I think being a poet's got to be one of the most difficult things in the world. But she went from there to sleeping under the Burnside Bridge. She was homeless. I didn't even think they had nice tents then. But she was literally living under the bridge. And I can't remember how long this was her life. And finally she was telling us in class, she said, one day I just said, God, I can't do this anymore. I just surrender. I can't do it. She gave up. You see, it's sort of about at some point when we're making it through tough times is about giving up. And she gave up. She said, I just gave up. And she said, I saw this light, this incredible white, warm light just embrace me. And she said, I never took another drink again. And she was in the ministry school when I was up there. And I never forgot that. Because, you probably know maybe it's happened to you, where you just give up, and suddenly you have this peace. I've talked to many people that have suddenly have felt this peace, and everything is okay. I don't know any other ways. Maybe you do. Course therapy. These are my ways. These are my ways. And if you can't sleep at night, guys, just begin to visualize this light. Focus on the light. I learned this a long time ago, where the light comes down through my head and down through my body, and you can feel it. I don't know how many of you work with energy and that you could feel that. You'll begin to feel it if you haven't. This life force becomes, and just put your mind on that and watch you sleep. The last thing I guess I would say to get it through tough times is to be generous to ourselves and to be generous to others. We all need somebody. I was so cool that you read that reading about the whales, about the loneliness. We all need people. And one of the problems with so many of groups closing down, and I'm so glad all you people who watch online, you're wonderful and we're glad that you're there. But being in person, we just need that as people. And so don't forget to get support. Don't forget to get support. And if you talk to people who've made it through tough times, help somebody else. Help somebody else. Be engaged and help. That is so healing. That is so healing. We don't have to do a lot, but just be a presence sometimes. So what I want us to take away from today is to let go of being a victim, to learn how to surrender, just practice surrendering, to pray, and do get into classes if you haven't been in. If you haven't been in for a while, get in them again. How we're taught to pray here made all the difference in the world. And find support for yourself and be supportive. That's prayer made so much difference. I'm telling you, I wouldn't pray too much when I was younger because I was afraid. I mean, I'm serious. That you know what I prayed for? God was gonna get me, and yeah. Of course, I wasn't very good either, so maybe that was part of my problem. Anyway, so guys, just know that there is support for you, that you are loved. Namaste.
My mom came to New Thought when she came out of a traditional, very, very heavy church with her father. She ran out into a field, this cornfield that was next to it, ran all the way out in the middle, and she said, "All right, I don't believe in that kind of God, get me." And she closed her eyes and waited for it to happen. Nothing happened. And that's when she decided that there was another way to think. I'm part Irish, and everybody today is part Irish, because that's just what we do. So this is one of those songs that speaks of that Irish nature in us and the beauty of it. Brent, when Irish eyes are smiling. And you're welcome to sing along if you'd like. When Irish eyes are smiling, 'tis the morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'll steal your heart away. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's great. This is our special time when Irish eyes are smiling, when our eyes smile, and when we're ready to show how much we're smiling. We just reach into our pockets. Yes. So in your program, there is a wonderful affirmation about who we believe we really are. And right there it says, offering affirmation. Let's read it together. Divine love,
moving in
and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am so blessed, right? I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Sing it like you mean it. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are so blessed. You know, you bless this house of faith, this house of spirit, simply by being here. But you bless us because you show us by the way you give. You give of your time and your talent. You give of your everything. And we bless that. We give thanks for that. So thank you for what you've done today. Thank you for what you've given today. And thank God for that message we had today from Reverend Julie. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. And so it is. Can you say that with me? And so it is. Thank you. Okay. We like to make an affirmation and know that God is with us always. And we say that by standing and saying this wonderful, wonderful prayer of thanksgiving. Thing that we know. The light of God
surrounds us. The power of God protects us.
The presence
of God protects us.
The presence of God watches
Over us. And where we are, God is. And all is well. Amen.
Go ahead and make it. Go ahead, hands, make a little circle. Let's sing together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yeah. I've seen the show. We tried. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was great. That was really good. Thank you.